Well, good morning everybody. I thought I would just show you a few of my pieces of work and then maybe talk about how I start them. So my name's Ruth from the Wickerfish Art Studio, and I tend to concentrate on the energy of water. So these are some of the seascapes that I do. So I'm not really interested in nice calm seas. This one's a little bit different. This is more of an aerial view of the sea and estuaries. I've called it anchored because you'll be able to see the two little sailing boats, hopefully, just there. So I'm hoping to do a few more of those. They're a little bit different, but the majority of them are looking at the energy of sea, or in fact water. It doesn't just have to be the sea. And that will just give you an idea. But if you want to come into my studio space, and there's my lovely little dog Kim. Just to sort of, you need to say hello. There you go, darling. It's a good girl. Good girl. I don't just sort of dive in. Watercolour is not something where you can just dive in. You have to think about it. You have to plan it. And these are the little sheets that I do first. So this is the one I'm hoping to do next. It's a very rough of a sailing boat in the ocean. But I always do a tester of all the colours that I'm going to use. And I use lots of different paints. I use Cotman Student watercolours, which I've used for years. I do use Winsor & Newton sometimes, the artist quality, but then I've started to use Daniel Smith, which I love. Very expensive, but really nice, because they have a range that actually granulates, which I like, which means that it separates and creates an effect a bit like this here. So I tend to do a little tester square and put a name underneath, and you'll see that I've got a white stripe, and that's basically where I've got like a stiff brush and some water, and then I would scrub it, and with a tissue, just to see if it will come off. And then you can see whether or not you want to use it, because I tend to do a lot of painting and then take a lot off, and that's why I decided not to use quinacridone orange. You can see it's very stainy, it doesn't get back to white like this did. So I'm going to use burnt sienna instead. So it's a very useful thing to do. These are all just the pure colours, but here there are a couple of mixtures. I've used Perolean red and Cascade green to get this dark red, and I've used ultramarine blue and quinacridone orange, but I might actually change the quinacridone and use burnt sienna to get a black. I can talk more about the colour mixing in another YouTube video, but I thought it might just be useful for you to see how I start. So then I have a go with all the colours, make sure it's what I want, with any effects, because I've used a bit of cling film here, and so on. So that's, these are, I'll show you that way around. That was like a big wave that I did there. So you'll see every single one. I've done these colour charts. If ever I need to sort of paint something similar again, I can just go back and refer to these. That was an oil rig. That was Holy Island Lighthouse. That was just a general seascape. And then these are the effects that I do try out. So there's cling film here, tin foil. If you throw rice onto a picture, you can get this sort of effect. I can actually show you that on one of my other pieces of work. I'll show you here. This is a piece of work that I'm just trying to find it now. Little bits of rice on there somewhere, but it's good for like hedgerow and that sort of thing. Now that I brought you here, I can't actually see any. Maybe I didn't use it on that one, but I do use it a lot. So yeah, that's another technique. And then you might want to add a little bit of hessian into a wet wash, or a bit of string, or blow with a straw, or wax. What else have I got here? Similar again, tin foil, bubble wrap, bits of mohair. You can see that better in a bit of light. Rice again up here. Bits of hessian again with different colours. This one is using a credit card to create rocks, which is a really good technique. Bit of sponging, scratching out with a craft knife, lifting off, blotting, blah blah blah. Soluble felt tips, and then put water on them, really cheap felt tips, and I think that's probably it. More credit card thing there. Yeah, so that gives you a good idea. So I thought I would just share that for now, and then I'm going to hopefully do a video of my next painting. This is the one of the sailing boat. It's already drawn up, so there'll be mainly sea with a little ship bobbing about, and I will hopefully video myself doing that, and you can see how it turns out. It might be a complete failure, but we'll play it by ear. So thank you for watching. It's the Wickerfish Art Studio. I hope to see you soon.